Hello everyone, back again with another Jurassic World Evolution 3 video. So, in my last video, I forgot to react to the trailer that was released for that day. That's my own fault. I forgot that there was an error with the trailer, so they had to take it off and put it back on, and when I re-downloaded it, I put it in a different file. So I completely forgot that there was a trailer to react to. So we're going to react to that trailer, as well as now, I can officially talk about the event that I was invited to from Frontier. This was an online thing where we got to, me and a bunch of other people, got to watch gameplay of Jurassic World Evolution 3 and have it presented from Frontier themselves. And they talked about what we could do in the game and showed off some other things as well. So I'll have a little bit of little tidbits of information. I can't show that footage. We were told not to record it, but I did. And maybe I'll throw in some reactions here and there because I recorded myself reacting to it, but not the footage. But anyway, before we do that, let's have a look at the trailer.
Peggy 16.
Peggy 16? Really? I don't even think even Jurassic World Rebirth is Peggy 16. And that'll have blood in and everything. Oh, there's the petting zoo. That was the main thing I missed. And this is petting zoo.
Welcome to the Dinosaur Integration Network.
Hello, Kira-chan, who's not AI generated.
Our organization brings groundbreaking, sustainable breeding programs to a global clientele of demanding
it was a
site
Mosasaur,
owners.
was it? I think it might have
We
been.
are taking paleo-curation into exciting new territory.
Oh,
Where previous pioneers exclusively
weird
synthesized
transfer
female
box.
dinosaurs, we are also creating males.
oh, all right, because everything in the
These
park was female
animals
before.
aren't assets to us, but the beginning of a new evolution.
Look at that. Oh, we'll break down this in a second. I just want
And
to
do
watch it
keep an
through.
eye on the young dinosaurs. They can inherit more than just appearances.
Third arms? Oh my god. Oh,
Every site
look at
must
that.
be
Look
a
at all the
perfect
effort this
balance
person's
of
put into a
security
building that
and
I'm definitely not going to put in.
Protecting our guests is crucial.
Actually, to be fair,
So is
I've been doing a
inspiring the
lot of
next
stuff,
generation.
so park building recently, so maybe I will. Oh, that's so good. That is so OP. I love it. Oh, I'm so excited for this.
As with any project of this scale, not everything will go according to plan.
Baby brachiosaurs, baby Barrys.
As the park manager,
Baby
we
Barry.
also need to assess emerging situations and get them under control.
Storms are still a thing.
It won't be easy, but that's why we're hiring the best.
That's me. That's
Dim
you.
is here to make a difference. Now, I'm sure you have plenty of questions.
No.
but please-
And the corruption. Someone doesn't want us to succeed. But who could it be?
This is your first and final warning. Din must not continue.
What must not continue? Death. And then I think they put a little bit at the end here, because I didn't even show this. Everyone posted it in their thumbnails. I was like, oh, crap. Even though I knew about it, I didn't see it. There's also images on their website that we'll go check out after this as well. But first, let's have a quick little breakdown of the trailer. So this is the petting zoo scene, and you can just see a barrier. So I'm assuming maybe there's a way for you to add this onto an enclosure that has babies in it. So there's a little sticky out bit, a bit like the raptor pens. They had that little extended bit in Jurassic World where maybe the babies can come and sit at, because I don't think it's going to be a separate thing that you transfer to. Or maybe it's an animatronic. Who knows? I do, however, hope they fix this Justin Berger walk cycle, because if you just look at it, it's, every keyframe ends at the same time. But that's just me being an animator, you know. Fussy little bugger I am. Yeah, and people have mentioned about this, how we see dinosaurs being transported before. However, in this one, it's in a box. I can maybe think of a few reasons. It could just be like I've said in the past about it being transferred between parks. Like in the campaign, it's all over the world, so maybe that came from a different place, and it doesn't load in correctly until it's set down. Or it could be babies. Babies could be transferred in a way like that. But I do like how it's a little Easter egg for Jurassic Park, like the Raptor container from the beginning of Jurassic Park. But here, this is interesting. So we finally get a look at the hatchery. Now I did see this before. Here, you can actually change the gender. And what's even better, I mean, there's so many things going on here, but for a start, you get to see the dinosaur change in real time. When you switch it to male, you see its crest change.
Crest.
When you change its skin and its pattern, you see that in real time as well. I think mods kind of helped with that in Jurassic World Evolution 2, because you get a little model in the bottom left, and that may not be a mod, it might just be an update, I'm not too sure. But also, it lets you know how many are already in the enclosure that the hatchery is attached to, which is really helpful. However, I am seeing a scientist limit at the bottom there, and I don't like the scientists, especially now that they're just generated. I think they were generated before. Hey, what can I say? Like, I gave Frontier an opportunity to use me in their scientists, but I want to go for generated images, I guess. Oh, okay. And then you get the big bull here come to see all of the ladies, and they're all like, oh, he's so hard. And here is where you see them place a nest. Now, when we watched their playtest, they told us that every dinosaur has a different requirement for their nest. So, for example, this Triceratops needs it to be isolated, and what that means is that it can't be viewable by a viewing vent, a gyrosphere tour, or anything like that. And apparently we're going to have other dinosaurs have requirements as well. So it's not just going to be isolated. It could be a case of they don't like any dinosaurs nearby, or they don't like any certain type of species nearby either. Now, we don't see it here, but apparently you can assign scientists to the nest as well, which is interesting. And the whole purpose of us wanting to include babies at all instead of just making the dinosaur is apparently when they're babies, they get more rating. So they'll boost your star rating, they're more popular with the guests, that sort of thing. So instead of just making an adult, actually a breeding program will maybe be a cheaper and a better alternative, especially when money's tight. So I think that's a really interesting way to go about it. And also, there is no breeding animation, or mating animation, I should say. It's a bit weird for me to even say those words in a video. But basically, we saw the Triceratops walk into the nest, turn around, back up like a truck, lay down, and then I think it got up and just walked out. And then apparently the eggs were there. So I think I called them cowards or something when I watched that the first time. So there's no breeding animation. Cowards. It's like, you cowards. You didn't want to put animations for the breeding. Oh, could be an educational game. You've already got a 16 rating? Oh. It's educational. And here's interesting, because you have I guess this is almost as if it's the releasing of the enclosure dinosaurs. Maybe the babies just sort of walk out, depending on how many there are. And also, depending on who the father is and the mother is, they get genetics, they get skin colors and all that jazz, as well as being able to trace their family lineage, which I think is one of the coolest aspects of this. The babies have special interactions with certain, like, dinosaurs. When the baby's threatened, I think I remember hearing that the parent can protect them, or, something or other like that. Maybe when the parent's not nearby, that's when they're not able to, and they'll just get eaten by a carnivore or something. Again, we're seeing the roster of dinosaurs cut down by a lot, but at the same time, if every dinosaur has babies, I mean, yeah, they're going to recycle some. Triceratops will probably have the same animation as Pentaceratops or something like that, but their interaction with their parents will probably be different. We're talking, less dinosaurs, but you basically double the roster, especially when 70 of them have babies. I know there's 80 in total, I think, but 70 can only have the whole mating and breeding mechanic, so 10 of them won't. And of course, speculation is Indoraptor, Indominus Rex, Distortus Rex, Mutodon, stuff like that, and any other hybrids like Spinoraptor, Ankylodocus won't be able to reproduce. We'll see how that goes. Of course, we get a better look at the modular building sort of things, which I'm really not too fussed about. And here, look, we have the community creations, and you can turn them on and off so that you'll only have yours, or if you turn it on, you'll see everyone else's. And look, this is the large hotel, so it'll be a case of you click on a building like large hotel, and then it'll load up all the blueprints, as they call them, and you can turn off whether you want community created or not. It'd be interesting to see how you browse the community roster, whether it's before you enter a game and you go in the main menu and you just have a look through and you browse that way, or whether in-game you can open it up, because I could imagine that getting a bit more complicated. But the most impressive thing I noticed and didn't put it in my last video is if you look at the bottom on the toolbars, you've got play, fast forward, pause, or slow-mo, I think it is, but you also have an undo button. And that is something that we didn't have in Jurassic World Evolution 2. The amount of times I've placed something, like a scenery on top of something else, and I can't delete it without deleting everything. So if I made like a nice garden with loads of little rocks and then I put a cave on top of it, with mods that is, I can't delete the cave without deleting everything underneath it. But now, you just want to do a quick undo. It might just be one. You might just get one undo, and you know, we get used to that, I suppose. But at least having the option to do it once is so much better than not being able to do it at all. And look at this bit here. Oh, like, before, you could kind of do it. It would take maybe 5-10 minutes to carve out a path. But the fact that you can change the radius, the height, just put it up to there, and look at that. Look at that. And what you'll notice is there's no restrictions. Look at the building below it. Look at this building right here. And you skip forward to when it plays it, boom. It actually goes through the building. So terrain restraints don't look like they're going to be a thing. I don't think they've said that, but that one definitely goes through. Now, it could be a beta build, and they just haven't turned it on in this version. But then if you look at this one, that goes boom, and you go there. Of course, that sort of messes with it, because now the rocks are covering it. Of course, we saw the waterfalls, other terrain, the trees and stuff that you can put down. It's very rigid-looking Gallimimus there. And then when this gets hacked, you get to see at least some species. Of course, there's a T-Rex, the Lassodrakon, I think there's a Brachiosaur, some other sauropod. This is speculated to be an Ankylosaur, but it does have a beak, and I don't know, Ankylosaur might have had a beak. It could be some sort of Draco Rex or Pachycephalosaurus. People have mentioned or speculated that the Draco Rex will probably not be in the game, because of course you've got juvies, and if Pachycephalosaurus, which probably will be in the game, let's be honest, its juvie might look like a Draco Rex. And it's argued, and I don't know if it's been confirmed yet, in the paleontological world, that Draco Rex is actually just a juvenile Pachycephalosaurid, due to the density of the bone changing. Like, Pachycephalosaurus is very thick, and if they age like birds, their crest doesn't come in until maturity, and there's a theory that Draco Rex, it does exactly the same. Like, that's when it's a baby, it has no big head, and when it grows up, it sort of grows with it. I mean, we get to see the raptors as well. They do just look like regular Jurassic World Evolution raptors. And, I mean, to add to the scene, I like how they've tipped over the signs, they've tipped over the vending machines, so you can really put down anything anywhere. It doesn't have to be restrained to the building and the little grid of the building. Place something down, advanced move tool it, and turn it wherever you want to. And I like that they called it advanced move, because that was from Kai's Wii Toolbox. I think he called it advanced move tool as well. And then we get the shot of the swimming Spino, this guy. So when I saw it, it was the last thing they showed us about the swimming Spinosaur. They just put down some deep water, and of course it was with the shallow water. The Spinosaur transitioned straight into the deep water, if I remember correctly. But what was interesting about the deep water, and people have speculated, I don't know if you can see it in this footage here. I don't think you can, no. But there is fish in there. They generate, you don't have to place a fish feeder, and the Spinosaur, we got to see it eat the fish. Now, it didn't do any cool diving and catch fish and, flip it up and anything like that. It just kind of stayed stationary in the water and then, snapped and ate a fish. So, I mean, deep water is a good way of, not being able to, or if you don't want to put down a feeder, and especially when it comes to, me and how I play Jurassic World Evolution. I like the more natural look, especially if I'm going for the ecosystems. That's a way that the Spinosaur can still get its food without having to place down a feeder, which sort of breaks the immersion in a way. We've also got to look at the baby Stegosaur here, its requirements, its cohabitation, and juvenile population. So they do have a limit to how much they like juveniles. A bit like the adults, they don't like having so many or so little. Now, I don't know if it's been in a thumbnail or anything like that, but when I watched the footage when we were invited to that event, apparently dinosaurs have like a graph, a chart of when they are most fertile as well. So when they're juvenile, of course, they can't reproduce. And then, if I remember correctly, especially with the Triceratops, there was two peaks. So, we're used to having the number and then its age, so its lifespan and being 82 or whatever, and then its age. And when it hits 82, it can start to die and whatnot. Whereas this time you have a line on a graph. And as it goes along, you can track when it's most likely. And I think also that had a chart of at some points it's 100% chance of it being able to reproduce and have eggs. And I'm not too sure if I ever saw with the babies, if there was, whenever they're gonna all of a sudden pop. Now, I've mentioned this in the past. I don't think we're going to get a system like the Isle or Path of Titans where it's just a gradual growth. I feel like as soon as a juvenile hits adult, we'll get a little pop or a flourish and it'll become an adult. I would like there to be a system that is gradual growth, but the fact that, if that's the case and it's gradual, the difference between an adult and a juvenile at some cases, but it's going to be so slight before they become an adult. And I think that might confuse a lot of people, especially if you think that we're going to have a system that is juveniles in the Gentle Giant petting zoo. So they can't change size because they have to fit in a small space in order for guests to interact. And if they change size, then when the guest would also have to change their animations, right? And I don't think that's going to be the case. I think they've plotted set animations for the juvie to be a specific size. And for that reason, I think we're not going to get progressive growth. It's just all of a sudden going to pop and become an adult. I don't know. Something like that. BBC documentary aired as well. I still have no internet, so this video is coming to you from my mobile hotspot. There was a BBC documentary where they went and visited Frontier, their offices, and they showed the Dilophosaurus animation, and a juvie Dilophosaur. Again, still not a fan of this floppy frill. Either go frill always extended, or just have it hidden. Put it inside of the geometry. I hate this weird floppy thing that they're doing. It's just, it's like a wet umbrella. I mean, yeah, I guess it's realistic, but why? Why? I don't know. I'm not a fan of the more T-Rex, massive jaw Dilophosaurus. Even in Jurassic Park, it was more thin and slim, and the crest was tight to the neck. And I prefer that design over Jurassic World's T-Rex Dilophosaurus, like the Dimorphodon is a T-Rex Orphodon. But hey ho, it's the same with Allosaur. Allosaur is a T-Rex Allosaur. But yeah, just a quick video updating the things that I missed. Unfortunately, my internet just decided to shut off and never work. Apparently, it's been 2 days now without internet, so that's good. But I mean, it should get fixed in the next couple of days. That's the least of your worries. Content will still be coming. I can still work offline, but it's just a bloody nuisance. Anyway, guys, let me know your thoughts on Jurassic World Evolution 3. Are you hyped? Are you disappointed? Tell Daddy Beavers he'll listen to you. I might even do a voice comment, because apparently you could do that now. Down in the comments below, you might hear my sultry tones. But if you enjoyed this video, leave a like. Of course, I'm hyped for it. And until next time, I'll see you guys later. Oh, bye-bye.